Tom, thank you very much. Today is the 80th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. 30 survivors in Hawaii tonight commemorating the day that will live in infamy. David Russell among them, 21 years old that day in 1941, stationed aboard the USS Oklahoma as it began to sink, hoisting himself onto a nearby ship, the USS Maryland. He was able to fight back against incoming Japanese attack planes.
By the time I get topside, the ship was almost ready to capsize. I had someone give me a few instructions on how to handle ammunition, so I passed ammunition during the Pearl Harbor attack.
More than 2,400 servicemen and civilians died that day, 21 ships sunk or gravely damaged, and more than 300 planes destroyed. The U.S. declared war on Japan the next day, launching us against the Axis powers into World War II. Now, the nation paused to honor the brave Americans out there in Hawaii and who lost their lives in that attack. John Dickerson from CBS has a look back from Pearl Harbor.
At a solemn memorial commemorating 80 years since Pearl Harbor,
ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please bow your heads.
Those who survived gathered at the site of the attack to honor those lost.
Sailors, Marines, soldiers, and civilians. Many of those civilians were Hawaiian Americans caught in the fury of the attack throughout the island.
On December 7, 1941, Japanese planes carried out a surprise aerial assault on U.S. military bases on Oahu, killing nearly 2,400 service members and civilians. Most of the deaths took place on the USS Arizona, which split in two and sank with more than 900 sailors on board.
The unprovoked attack at Pearl Harbor plunged our country into World War II, the most devastating conflict in history.
At the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum in New York City, families of survivors laid a wreath in memory of the fallen. Navy Seaman Second Class Charles Saunders died on board the USS Oklahoma that day. He was finally laid to rest in his hometown of Texas today, after his remains were identified through advanced DNA testing. For the survivors who returned to Hawaii, December 7th is a day they will never forget. John Dickerson, CBS News, Hawaii.